Well, nowadays there seems to be so much more attention on enhancing the male libido through prescription medications. But currently, there is no magic pill for us women with low desire. Well, today we're going to talk about hypoactive sexual desire disorder in women, and particularly in women who are postmenopausal, including those who have had their ovaries removed. And here to fill us in is Dr. Michael Snaves from Biosante Pharmaceuticals and study participant Kim. Welcome to the both of you. Great to have you.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
I am actually very excited we're talking about this. I was alarmed to find out, for the men and women out there watching, that for men who have low sexual desire, there are pills out there. There's Viagra, there's Cialis. But for women, we don't have an option. There are no drugs approved by the FDA to help us with our sexual, disorders. Is that right?
That's right.
Why is that?
Well, it's a little bit of a story, but to get testosterone approved for men, only blood level studies had to be done by the different companies. And actually, Viagra and those medicines were discovered a little bit by accident. They did the studies that were asked for by FDA, and they were approved now more than 10 years ago. So they've been around for a while.
Let's break down what hypoactive sexual desire disorder really is. What is that? That's a lot.
Yes, it is. It means a woman is, or a man, but we're talking about women, have low sexual desire, low interest in sex, and it's enough of and it bothers them. That's the key aspect to make it a disorder.
Okay. Is it more common in women that are older versus younger?
Yes, it does. As women get older, the low desire actually increases, so that women over 50, 40 or 50% of women have low desire.
Now, Kim, let's bring you in. Was this something you were experiencing?
Well, what happened in my situation was when I turned 40, I had a partial hysterectomy where they just removed my uterus. Then in 2008, when I turned 48, they had to take my ovaries out, and that's when I started experiencing a low desire.
The low desire. Now, was this something that you were comfortable talking to your husband and your girlfriends about, or was it something you were kind of like, I don't even want to talk about it at all?
I spoke to my husband about it often because I didn't want him to feel that it was him. I had no desire for him, and it was his performance. So I did make him well aware that it was something that was coming from me because of my surgery, having my ovaries removed.
Now, what was it that finally made you actually call out and seek help?
Because I was 48, I wasn't ready to sit on the couch and cuddle with my husband and hold hands.
Right, you wanted to be sexually active.
Correct, and it was part of our marriage that I enjoyed, and I wanted to have that desire for my husband.
Tell us a little bit about this study that you're doing, Dr. Snaves, because it's a really important study. I think that it's definitely something we should be talking about. Tell us about the treatments that you guys are looking at.
Well, we're comparing our Libigel, which is a small amount of testosterone, supplied daily to women, comparing that to a gel with no testosterone, a placebo gel. It's applied daily. And we're comparing that, those in research studies throughout the U.S. and Canada, about 150 sites actually nationally.
And what has the response been like? I mean, what are people saying about it?
Well, I think we're getting a good response. We're still recruiting patients for our studies, and but we think there's a lot of interest. We think this is a very important study to be doing now.
What is the takeaway, though? Because I know a lot of times we hear these stories in our marriages where, men are saying, listen, my wife doesn't want to have sex, I want to have sex. Yet for us women, we're saying we want to have sex, we want to be intimate with our spouses, but yet there is no sexual desire because it's decreasing and there are no options out for us. So what is the takeaway for women?
Well, in my opinion, the takeaway is that we need to get this medicine approved so that relationships throughout the U.S. have the opportunity for a treatment like this, which is very much needed.
It's just astonishing to me, though, the statistic in terms of, all the men that are tested and have options versus us. So this is a national study. And women in Connecticut, throughout Connecticut, can actually take part in it, right?
Yes, we have 5 research sites in Connecticut, actually.
Tell us where they are.
They're in Hartford, New London, New Britain, Ridgefield, and Farmington.
Perfect. Now, how do you find out whether or not you're eligible for this? What makes you qualified to actually sign up?
Well, there's a lot of inclusion-exclusion, but basically a woman who's had her hysterectomy, her ovaries are out, and those are the main important the inclusion criteria for this study.
And before women sign up, are there any questions that we should be asking ourselves? Any key questions? before we actually come and say, hey, listen, I want to definitely sign up for this?
Well, I think if you look at, you could go to bloomstudy.com where there's a lot more information, but you'd have to say to yourself, do you have a low desire, and does it bother you? Does it bother you that way? Because not all women who are at any age have a low desire, but they're okay with that. But not everybody's okay with that.
Kim, what is the takeaway for you as a woman to other women, just woman to woman? What should we be considering for women who have that low sex drive, who say, listen, something's wrong with me, I'm a little bit embarrassed, I don't know how to approach my husband, but I want to be intimate again, I want to start that spark with my spouse?
You definitely want to have a conversation with your husband about it, but you can't be embarrassed. You have to go out there, and it's nationwide, as you said, and it's something that women need to know, that you shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about it. And, you know, and to get people out there and do these clinical studies, that's how we're going to get these things approved quicker.
I love that. Thank you very, very much. Listen, let's put the information on the screen. If you are interested, you can get more information about signing up for this study by going to bloomstudy.com or just come to our website and click on Connecticut Style. Thank you so very much, Dr. Snaves.